think we're on?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's dark.
It looks dark in here. What's wrong?
Probably turn the lights on.
Okay.
I'll turn mine on. You turn yours on. Okay,
All
maybe
right.
I can see this then.
All right. Wait. Now can you? Am I there? Oh, hey! 100.
Indeed. We are partying.
I don't know if that came off, but it was funny to us.
Right. So we thought it was great. I don't know if you guys thought it was great. You probably think we're idiots. And if you're going to listen to the audio version of this, you're really going to be like, okay.
You're going to be forced to go back and at least watch the first 10 seconds.
At least watch the intro. Yeah. So, hey, everybody. Thank you for starters. Just thank you. 100 episodes. And a lot of people hit 100 episode milestone, but we are bi-monthly. It's like every other week we're doing this. So to hit 100, we started off in 2014, in August of 2014. 4 years of doing this. And I really don't think we would have continued to do this if we didn't have an audience like we do, friends like you. So before we even get started, humongous thank you to you guys for supporting two average dudes just taking time after work to sit in front of the computer with dorky glasses on camera. So thank you guys. We got a lot of people in the chat room tonight. I was going to go through and start thanking people individually, but the list gets longer and longer.
I was just going to say we may not be able to, but what a great group. And and I think I'm about ready to take mine off so I can see.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put on glasses that I can actually see out of. So.
Jamie, you look like you're like a lounge lizard. You went and poured yourself a drink.
Oh, I did too, buddy.
You playing piano.
I'm celebrating. I'm telling you. Got some Burt Bacharach playing in the background.
Yeah, this is the only way you celebrate for where I'm at this week, and that's water. It is, as we do the show, this is the first show I've ever done where it's 108 degrees.
Holy smokes. You know what? They could have cooled it down to 100 and it would have been perfection. But hey, what are you going to do? 108,
and I missed the most epic storm by one night coming in here. That's all I hear is it closed down the airport.
I saw Karen Martin's photos and I was just like,
wow,
mind blown.
Epic. Yeah. And of course, there's not a cloud in the sky yesterday, today. It doesn't even look exciting. It's just so hot. Last night at, I think it was 10:30, it was still 102 or something like that. It's a whole nother world.
Indeed, definitely is. So everybody in the chat room, thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in live to wish us congratulations. We really appreciate that. There's probably going to be a benefit to tuning in live because you're going to get a head start on this little game that we're going to play. Ultimately, I guess you'll be tied up with everybody at some point potentially, but thank you guys big time for showing up. We're going to treat this like a regular episode. We're not going to get off script like we really had a script per se. We're going to talk a little bit about what we've been up to, do a little image share, talk about things we've got coming up.
Yep.
You've got something just crazy coming up.
Mind blowing, really. Yeah. For me, I just making the flight arrangements was hilarious. Trying to get out there.
But, it
should be fun.
I can honestly say I've never booked a trip quite like that one, so that's definitely cool.
Yeah, me either.
So, like Mike said, he's in Arizona because of work, and we just kind of want to mention that again. That this is kind of who we are. This is what we do. We have day jobs. We're just like everybody out there in the chat room. We're just normal people. We're not like full-time professional photographers. We're like
exactly.
We're this unique blend of average Joe who got pretty lucky with some cool companies that want to work. So and again, we wouldn't be where we're at without you guys' support. So again,
let me say a little bit too about just some of the thank yous. I mean, great comment we heard the other day. Someone had said, what, I think you guys are successful because you're relatable. And I think that is it, because we talk to people, and if you go to things like we were in the past, like out of Chicago or our workshops, or even when we throw up the free workshop we did, and when everybody comes in, it's not awkward. It's easy. Everybody feels like, hey, we already know you, and you don't get a lot of handshakes. You get more hugs, which is, like, hey, I never really met you, but sure, I'll hug you.
Yep.
I really like. I think that's fantastic. But you know, and then I think there's some special people too from a support side, and I know you feel the same way. I mean, just like you guys could imagine, everybody watching every other week, there's people that allow us to do this craziness. You know, I think about my wife supporting me every Wednesday. Hey, we could be doing something else like everyone else.
Right. Definitely.
You know, and the kids when they were home, and even now I know some of them, my kids will tune in, which is fun. And hopefully they're watching. I'll test them and we'll see. But, and I know you got the same thing.
Definitely. Yep. You know, so my kids do sacrifice quite a bit. Tonight I had to tell them, get off the PlayStation 4.
That's right.
You know, slow down on the Wi-Fi. Dad wants the bandwidth. Even though I'm not using my like EM1 Mark II for a camera tonight, I just stuck with the iSight camera. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, they all sacrifice a little bit one way or another.
That's pretty funny.
So thank you, Joe, for the congrats. We appreciate that. I guess we'll jump right into, you know, something that we've been promoting about this episode for the whole time. And that is leading up to this episode anyways. And that's, we're going to do a giveaway. We're actually going to do like several giveaways. You know, we've got 4 prizes to give away. And we could have bundled this as one big one, which would have been, you know, totally killer for like one person, you know, but we love you all. We've got a lot of friends out there, so we want to make more opportunities for more people. And by more opportunities, we're going to do this kind of like we've done in the past, you know, where we're going to give you a hashtag to use, and we're going to track that. We're going to track whether you follow us, whether you follow us on different social accounts, things like that. But this time around, we're going to do some things to give you bonus entries. We haven't done that before. And I was telling Mike, I said, I know how to do this. It's just going to be a headache on our end, you know, to track it. But we can do this, and it'll be fun, and I think it'll definitely benefit everybody who wants to get crazy with the participation. So first, do you mind if I do an image share, Mike, and show everybody what we're going to give away?
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
I mean, I know we've kind of talked about it probably a little bit here and there with everybody, but I want to just show exactly what we're giving away here. So let me start my my screen share with the old application window. There we go. Bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know how long has it been, Mike? You've been shooting with Insta with those guys. You've been ambassador for them for a couple months now.
Ambassador for a couple months, and probably shooting with that one camera for geez, 6-7 months for sure, maybe 8. Yeah.
So you know, Mike's one of his companies that supports him. He's an ambassador for. Loves what we do, loves the interaction that we have with everybody, and wanted to help us celebrate the 100th episode. And you said there were 2, is that correct?
Yeah, we've got 2, and I'm holding one of the boxes right here in case we need to show it tonight. But so, yeah, I've got 2 sitting at home ready to send.
Now that's called the Pano Clip, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about what that is, what it does?
It's real easy, and this is a great segue into if you don't want to go out and spend the money to get too highly involved, let's say into 360, and you just want to test the waters, you have an iPhone, they snap right onto an iPhone, and it uses your front camera and your back camera. You hold still for 2-3 seconds, and it takes a front picture and it stitches it together and gives you a 360. And one of the most cool things is inside of it, when you go to share it, they have some filters and stuff that take it and actually can drop out the sky if you do it outside and make it from daylight to nighttime. It's the coolest thing, and nothing else has it. None of the other 360 products that they sell has that. So it's one of those things like where you get special things with a Pen F. You know, you get all the different filters. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a nice, easy way to get into 360 stuff. And there's no motors, there's no power, nothing. So
awesome.
Snap it on and move forward. Yep.
So if you guys are curious about, you know, more, I'm sure you can jump on YouTube and just look up. Would they search for? You think Insta360 Pano Clip or just Pano Clip?
Straight up Pano Clip, yeah, because it's the company. They're not actually even from Insta360. It's the same company that is that produces the Insta360.
Gotcha. Yeah, so it's kind of like Mindshift Gear was with Think for a while.
You got it, and I just saw that email.
Yeah, that's what made me think of that.
You're right on the money, man.
Okay, so so if you're curious about it, just jump on YouTube and check out Pano Clip, or you can search it online and check out what it is. Super cool. And if you follow Mike, you know, like he could probably definitely give you some tips on things to look for when shooting 360s and stuff like that. So that's one of the prizes. And not one, but it's actually two, because we're going to give out two of those.
Yep.
The next thing on the list is actually this. Okay, so I'm showing a bag and a tripod together, but it's the bag that we're giving away. I'm just showing you that the bag can actually hold a portable tripod as well. So this is the Alta-Rise. Oh boy, Jamie, of course I don't have my my list in front of me here. Sorry guys, let me pull that back up. But so anyways, one of the companies that I work with, Vanguard, they have offered to pitch in a few things as well. And one of them is this wicked cool backpack. I know this is one that my buddy Mark Miller seems to always have with him. Whenever we go somewhere, it seems like Mark has that with him. And I don't know if it's just kind of like his go-to bag or whatever. And I'm stalling here because I'm trying to find the darn email so I know exactly which model it is, because I don't want to tell you that it's one when it's a different one. But I want to say it's the Alta-Rise 46. And I'm probably totally blowing that. So I apologize. I'll tell you what, you guys, I'll put it in the show notes so you know exactly which one it is. And actually, I have a link to it that'll show up in the show notes as well. So you can go check it out, see how big it is, and see what kind of features it's got and what it does. So we're going to give away one of those. The next thing that we're going to give away is this cool tripod. I actually have one of these. I don't have it with the red accents. I think the red accents are pretty pimp. I like that.
Oh, I know, that is awesome, man.
Yeah, so this is the VO235. It's the VO2, so it's their new version of the VO line, and it's the 235 AB, and it's like I said, it's got the red accents. I actually, when I get off of the little screen share here, I think you might be able to see my VO235 behind me sitting on the desk, actually attached to a backpack.
Ooh, I like that thing. Gosh darn, I want to enter.
And what I like about it is, that the twist locks are quarter twists, so you're not like doing this, long rotation, then all of a sudden the leg falls out of your tripod, which is like embarrassing and ridiculous. And then finally, the sponsor that Mike and I both share together, and kind of who got us into this whole game, Olympus. Olympus has jumped in and they're offering an OM-D E-M10MkIII kit. So it's what you see right here. It's
that is rad.
It is totally. It is awesome. So I always travel with a camera in my car. And if I'm not going somewhere like on like a very specific trip to shoot, if I'm any kind of running around I do, this bag, this exact setup right here is sitting on the seat next to me every single time. It never fails. I am always carrying this kit with me unless I'm going out specifically to shoot like a certain thing. And I can tell you, I can vouch for, obviously, of course, the image quality is there. The interface on this one, for those not familiar, it's their newest camera aside from the EPL 9, but it's got the new interface. So it's a really simple, quick, easy to use interface. I mean, you still got, your full blown manual controls in there when you need them, but for just being able to pull it out really quick and jump into a mode and shoot, you can't beat it. And
I mean, it's my #1 camera for bike riding.
There you go.
It's simple because, first off, I don't like to shoot a lot of pictures while I'm riding. It's not very safe. But when you're in the slow roll, you're going either slow enough or you're stopped that you can do it. But it's simple. It's so light. And I just put it on P, program mode, and let it roll. And I use that 14 to 42 lens. I would suggest, in fact, anybody I've ever sold a kit to, I've told them to get that darn lens.
Yeah.
Even if you want to get your 1.2 17 prime, go for it, but don't go without the 14 to 42.
That lens
is that lens.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. So that's what we're going to give away. So there are 5 opportunities. There are 5 things that we're giving away. You'll be able to get multiple opportunities to win them. It'll end up going in the show notes for the show. We'll try to roughly go over what the process is now, because it's evolving currently. We're trying to, we want to add as many opportunities for people to enter to win as possible, just to make it. So just some really quick, easy ones. We've got a hashtag to use for this. Okay. I'm getting all excited in my chair. We've got a hashtag. So the hashtag is, and I love our show because nobody's going to be using hashtags that involve us except us. 100 mirrorless minutes. It's a long hashtag. So, and not 100 spelled out in letters, but numbers. 100 mirrorless minutes. That's our hashtag. So, I don't want you to tweet every single tweet you do with that hashtag. just give us a tweet like, congratulations on your 100th episode. How in the hell did you guys make it to 100 episodes? You know, like, so just
you two guys should have been dropped off cable a long time ago. Yeah. That's why we didn't go cable.
Wayne and Garth, we appreciate 100 shows, you know, and then hashtag 100 mirrorless minutes. So just do a tweet with that hashtag would be cool. There's an entry. You need, if you're following us, either one of our accounts on any social platform, you're going to be automatically entered, because I'm going to go through and I'm going to basically, and this, need to get this out front. This is going to be for the continental US only. Sorry if you are a northern brother, southern brother, or brother from another country. It's just logistically, it's so much easier for us to be able to ship within the United States. So I hope you can understand that. But if you're following us on any of our social accounts, you're entered. If you do a tweet or an Instagram post with the hashtag 100 mirrorless minutes, that'll count. And like I said, it's going to be a freaking logistical nightmare counting all this up, but it'll be fun.
I'm writing this all down like I'm the attorney here.
Yeah. And so those are two easy ones. Just be following us and do an Instagram post, you know, share a cool picture and then use that hashtag, and or do a tweet and then do that as well. You want to get 5 entries, and we're asking for a big favor by doing this, but we want a lot of people to know about our show. Swing over to iTunes, or if you're an Android user and you get our audio version on the Google Play Store, leave us a review. We've got one review. We've got one very sweet listener, Reba. We love you for that so much. You're our review queen right now.
After 4 years, we got to have, you know, we got to get more than one.
I know we've got to be doing something, right? Somebody's got to have 5 minutes of their time to just say, yeah, it's okay, listen to it or something, whatever. But if you do the review, that's going to be 5 extra entries right there. If you're one of our Patreon supporters, if you you're automatically entered with 5 entries right off the bat. You don't have to do anything. You guys can just sit back and chill. You're doing more than enough as it is already.
What happens if they sign up as a Patreon member?
You get 5 entries.
You get 5 entries. All right. So there's an incentive.
If you're a Patreon supporter already, you already have 5 entries. If you go leave a review, which will take you 30 seconds, there's another 5 entries. So now you've got 10.
You got 10.
Our fan base is pretty good size. But the odds of hitting this versus the Powerball are way better. So you're probably going to win something from us before you retire off of a lottery ticket. So I'd say, you know, take a couple minutes and go out and try to get some entries. There is a possibility we might add some other ways to earn more entries coming up. I'm thinking that, hey, if you go register for the Mirrorless Adventures Meetup group,
that's right.
That's an entry. You know, we want as many people to have access to the events that we do as possible. They're not always here in Michigan.
I was just going to say, don't think they have to be in Michigan, because they're not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You know, and actually, Mike and I, it helps shape what we're looking forward to in the future as far as where to do events. If we notice that there's an uptick, we'll say in Phoenix. Let's say that all of a sudden there's like 25 people in Phoenix that sign up to the Mirrorless Adventures Meetup group. It's time to start looking at Phoenix for the next meetup. So, or for workshops. So please sign up over there. It's an entry. These are all really easy things to do. You guys can do it when you're at work, right? So,
like us.
So those are the prizes. Those are some of the ways you can enter. Just keep your eyes peeled. You guys follow us, so you'll know if we come up with some other ideas for ways to gain entries. When is this going to close? I'm going to give this a longer time frame. I'm going to be gone next week in the Upper Peninsula traveling with my family. Yes, I'm stoked on that. It's going to be so great. So that's going to be time where I'm not going to invest any work into tracking anything yet. So what I'm thinking is we're going to shoot for the first show in September to start rattling off people who win prizes.
Okay, yeah. So the 15th, 20th. Let's see. Well, actually, we got a show on the 29th of August. We'll have one on the 15th of August, the 29th of August. And then what will we go then? The 12th of September?
Sounds good to me.
That we're going to go to?
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Let's make it. No matter what, that's what we make it.
So you guys have until like the 12th to get those entries out.
Yeah.
Rock the entries. So those are the prizes. We'll take a few minutes to kind of talk about what we've been up to. I'll let you go first, Mike, because I've been
I know
doing
you've been
this a
going
lot.
at it. That's okay. You have all the pictures of the giveaways. So besides going out to Phoenix and spending a bunch of time out here and traveling for work, I've got a real interesting trip coming up for Olympus, and excited about this. So anybody in the north, and I mean north at this point, Vancouver. So now we're going up to our friends in the north. I'm going to be going up to Vancouver, but then an island off of Vancouver called, and I've got to say this right, I've got it written down, Nanaimo Island, and I'm going to be doing a presentation and a photo walk on September 15th. Just the flights alone to get over there, and the flights and a ferry across to get to the island, and it's going to be exciting. And I know one of our other visionaries, Peter Baumgarten, that we've had on the show a couple times, he's been out there and just some amazing shots. They've got a great city. So if you're up there, or heck, I guess you could be somewhere near Seattle. You could be up in Washington, but definitely if you're in the north in Vancouver, you want to come up and see me. The place is it's actually called, and I checked it twice to make sure I'm right. It's called London Drugs. That's the store, and it's a giant store, and obviously they've got many of them around the area. But so they're into photography, and they get 40, 50 people every time to come out to their presentations. And I know a couple visionaries have been out there. So we're really looking forward to that. And one other thing, our workshop that I'm doing with Megan Crandallmeyer, the New York workshop at the end of September this year, that sold out right away. We only allowed 4 people in, but just as you we'll put some information because we have a cool show coming up next show too. So I don't want to give all that away, but we do have something in the works for 2019 for maybe a spring New York workshop too. So we'll get more info on that for you. But those are the couple things that I've got going on right now. And I know Jamie's trying to say hi to people, and I'm watching you type a lot.
And I'm not a touch typer, especially with a microphone in front of me. I'm like,
yeah.
I've got like some serious issues here.
All right. So, and I knew I'd mess it up. It's Nanaimo on Vancouver Island. All right. So yeah, see, I haven't been there yet, so I'm sorry.
That if I had a husky, that sounds like something I would name it.
Yeah, it is.
For some reason.
It is cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Can't wait to get out there talking street photography and urban photography.
That's going to be awesome. I can't even imagine, dude. I'm totally jealous. I love that region. So, man, you're gonna.
You've been up sort of in that area, north of that.
North of, yep. Man, it's gonna be cool. So holy cow, let me think here. So I do have got my workshop coming up. I think we've only got like 2 spots left. There might be 3. I'd have to go back and look. So if you're in Michigan or you're close to Michigan, we've got a killer workshop over on the Mirrorless Adventures Meetup page that we were talking about earlier that you should be signed up for. We're going to be shooting waterfalls in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we've got a couple of other stops that are going to be happening up there as well that are on the itinerary that's going out right at the end of this week to everybody who's already signed up. Definitely going to be a fun trip. And so here's the thing. You can register over on the Vanguard website. I'll have a link to that. Vanguard's actually going to give away a free spot on the workshop.
That's so cool.
Definitely cool. And you can not only win a spot on the workshop, you can also win one of those OM-D E-M10MkIII kits and a tripod and a backpack. It's basically the stuff we're giving away. Vanguard's giving away too, plus paying for your tuition to the workshop, paying your lodging, and you get a $100 gift card to one of the camera stores here in Michigan, which you can actually order online from them. So even if you don't live here in Michigan, you could still benefit from all this. So one person's going to win that. And if you decide to sign up for the workshop, you're automatically entered to win and have your entry and all that stuff paid for. So it's a pretty cool deal. And like I said, it's going to be a blast. All you have to be able to do is just make it to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we do all the driving from there. I've rented a 15-passenger van, and we're just going to drive you around and shoot some just stunningly beautiful sights in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. So, and that workshop is September 22nd. Yeah, that's like the start date of it. So, and it runs, it's just a couple of days long. So you're not going to be away for like a month or nothing like that. Crazy. It's an easy workshop to do. Beautiful location. So links for that will be in the show notes. Man, we're going to have some links, dude. We're going to have a lot of links. It's just going to be the link episode. 100 links, 100th episode.
There we go. We have it.
So just swing over to the Mirrorless Adventures website, and you can sign up for the workshop there. And then I'll have a link also to Vanguard's website where you can register there to win a spot on it. So pretty cool. So that's the workshop I've got coming up. I just did an event in Muskegon, Michigan here for a local camera store there. Did a presentation on shooting shorelines, and then took a group out to walk the shoreline and shoot. And it was so successful that the store owner immediately emailed me afterwards the very next day and said, this was phenomenal. We had so much fun. The attendees had so much fun. We've gotten so much good feedback from it. We want to do a workshop with you. So I'm planning another workshop that's going to happen in October. And this will be a really short one. It's literally going to be like a 16-hour workshop. We're going to shoot
like a 1-day thing, right?
1-day thing. Yeah. We're gonna start off in the morning, and we're gonna shoot all the way into that night. Go to sleep. Everybody wakes up the next day and departs. And it's gonna be cheap too. It's gonna be probably like $70 or $75. I'm thinking right around there. So it'll be cheap. It'll be fun. It'll be potentially fall color time. So it could be a spectacular thing. So keep your eyes open. That'll be on the Mirrorless Adventures Meetup page as well. And that's an easy one to do as well. And it's just a 1-day event. It'll take place on a Saturday, all day Saturday and Saturday night, maybe doing some Astro, go to bed, wake up the next morning. We have breakfast and everybody departs. So that's events coming up and events done and all that on my side of things. So, man, I'm talking a million miles an hour tonight.
You want to? Yeah, I know. I feel like we got so much to say.
It is too. Holy cow! I'm trying to fit 100 episodes worth of stuff out of my mouth at once.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Do you want to do some quick screen shares?
Totally. Yes.
I'll start because you're going, so you can catch your breath.
Go ahead. I'm gonna drink.
and I'll go pretty quickly so that we can continue on and get you there. Okay. Do you see the desert?
I see the desert.
All right, great. All right, so and this is a very simple picture, and it actually wasn't even taken on this trip. It was taken before, but one I wanted to comment on this. It's an OM-D E-M10MkIII with the 12-100. You could probably guess that if you follow me. It's the travel lens of the future and the past for me. But in any case, the selective color wheel that's within the filters on the OM-D E-M10MkIII and really is a lot of fun. And if you get the right kind of sunset and you can add a little orange to it, it's a lot of fun. And then making things silhouettes. So just try it. And if you don't know exactly what I'm saying, you send me any kind of message anytime. I'll respond to you, show you what I did, and it's real simple. Next one, I don't normally put pictures of myself, but I got to say I was really pumped about this one. It's at GM World headquarters in Detroit. It's called the Renaissance Center. In fact, it's in this picture right here. So this big photo, which somebody told me the photo was there, I thought, oh, that's cool. I didn't know it was 16 foot wide by like 6 foot high. And it's got a real nice, shout out about what I do. And if you notice at the bottom here, I know it's going to be hard to see, but it talks about mirrorless minutes. So, which I thought was even better. But this is taken a photo years ago, probably with EM1, the original EM1, and maybe the 12-40 at that time might have been the only thing out. Of the city skyline of Detroit. But a lot of fun that it was selected to go up there. Real proud of it. And there's a few people that have one up there. I know Lou, who watches the show, Lou Peoples, he's got one up there, and a lot of fun. And I'm not sure, I probably shared one of these before, but this was over at Liberty State Park, and it's the empty sky. It's called Memorial to those that passed in 9/11 on 9/11. And one of the things I liked about this one is I was able to get the two kids in there. And I'm not always big on shooting kids, but I thought they were blurred out enough, or it didn't see them enough that I just love that the way they're looking into the future and all. This is very. It's very heartbreaking to be there thinking about the people that were lost on 9/11, but at the same time, the future and the way this monument was a pretty neat shot. This was on the other side of that, of course, in New York City, taken from Liberty State Park, and Over here is the sun just coming up. It was sunset or just going. Actually, this is the moon. It was sunset, so this was just coming up in a nice full moon there. Love this shot. No filters. EM1 Mark II, 12-100, and so a lot of fun being in that part. If you get a chance to go over to New Jersey, and you're not in New York, check it out. It's great shots from that area. And then the next two are actually, yeah, I'll show the next two. This is my son and daughter-in-law, and we were just having fun. We were down in Detroit, Jamie. We were talking about, you know, your son and some of the stuff. We did a lot of stuff around Detroit and a lot of the murals and that, and having fun. EM1 Mark II with the 40-150 going around. They just wanted some new pictures for themselves. They were celebrating their wedding anniversary. They've been together for 12 years now. It's hard for me to believe. But really cool shots, a lot of fun. And you know what, that camera is so much fun when you just go out and you're taking fun pictures of the family. And I couldn't go anywhere without talking about this crazy thing, these shots. Before every show, if people wonder what the heck I've been doing, every single show I'll take a crazy shot of myself with the photo booth on my Mac, and I'll send it to my family. I do two reasons. One, just to be silly and tell them I'm on a show, and the other one is you know, be quiet because I'm on a show. And everybody knows I'll text them this, but these are just all the places that I've been. You know, here's a shot when I was in Arizona, and there's one of our birthday shots, my little dog Spencer, and you know, hotel shots, me holding the Insta360 one. I don't know where I was at this.
It's like you're in a sauna there.
I know it does. I remember this one. It was in Atlanta somewhere. And I always try to act goofy, and you know, hey, if you can't laugh at yourself, I don't know if you can laugh at anybody else. So I love doing that. All right, and that's to you.
That's awesome. You're good at projects, man.
Yeah,
like
I love doing that.
Like you just seem to find something, and you're good at that. Like I have such a hard time sticking with anything. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to pick your brain on what the secret is to.
I don't know. I think it's just to tell people leave me alone. I'm on my show. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. God. Yeah. Okay, so I don't have anything quite as fun as those. Just my standard like photo. So let me see here. What am I doing? I've been doing this for 4 years. You think I'd have it down pat, right? So yeah. Oh man. All right, so this is from the last weekend. And so I went to the beach, and I was expecting the sunset. And it was supposed to be great. My buddy Rick Kefgen came up from Lansing to go shoot the sunset with me. Actually met me at my camper, picked me up, and we went to Grand Haven to shoot. And literally, if you look in the distance, you can see the fog house on the left and the lighthouse on the right, all part of the pier in Grand Haven. And in between them, you can see like a foggy, it's a cloud on the horizon. The direction that those clouds are moving were straight at us, and that cloud stayed in that exact position. And that is exactly where the sun sets. So we did not have a sunset that night. So this is all about taking advantage of, you know, it's making the best of a situation. So what I did here, and I'm always trying to think of doing something different, and I find it ironic or coincident, whatever, interesting, that today there's an article, I think on several photography websites, about blending long exposure images with short exposure images to give yourself a different way to work on images. Like on a windy day, they were talking about if you're shooting waterfalls and you want to do a long exposure and there's foliage, the water gets nice and soft, but now you got these blurry, yucky, you know, whatever, trees and branches in your shot. This is the same concept. This is two images blended together. This is two 80 megapixel images blended together from the EM1 Mark II. One is a long exposure shot with a 6-stop ND filter from Nisi on it. And that's what blurred out the water for me in high res mode. The second shot is done with the graduated neutral density filter from Nisi. And that one is to expose for the sky and not a short exposure. So there's really very little movement in the clouds. You can see a little bit in the top extremities of the image here, but not much. So it was fast enough to where, you know, it exposed right without having the clouds move. So that's kind of what I did here is I blended two 80 megapixel images together so I could get the motion from the waves in one shot and then the exposure for the sky in the other one. Again, just kind of thinking a little bit outside of the box, doing things a little bit differently. So that was on Friday night. And this was last weekend. Like I said, I had that event that I was doing on Saturday at the camera store. So I wake up Saturday morning, day of my event, and go out and I shoot birds. One of the things I love about my camper where we're at is we're overlooking the Grand River here in Michigan, and there are a ton of birds, constantly a ton of birds. And I can quite literally, seriously, just go outside the camper, sit in a chair with a camera on a tripod and shoot birds. And so we've got feeders set up, you know, because we love little birds. So this hummingbird comes up to our feeder and then finds a nice place to perch. So that's kind of what I was doing, is I was shooting small birds. So I shot this shot of this ruby-throated hummingbird, female. She was eating at the feeder and then sat down. So this is ridiculous. So this is with the 300 millimeter f4 with the MC14 teleconverter on. So 420 millimeters and I'm stopped down a little bit. So I'm at like f8 here, so I can make sure that enough of the bird is in focus. So it's nice and sharp. But like ISO 1600, I think is this one. So I shoot her. I was pretty stoked, you know, to get that shot. And then the next one, this is a common yellow throat. It's a warbler. Another one, you know, just pretty stoked on these birds. And these birds are so close to me. They're literally like 25, 30 feet away. So I'm getting just super close up shots of them. And then I hear down in the river off in the distance, somebody yell some sort of an expletive. And I look up and see that there is it's an osprey had dipped down right next to this boat where these guys are fishing and snagged out a fish out of the water. It's a drum. Actually, I can see it clear enough in the finished product to tell that it's a drum, or a sheephead, they're called. So I had enough time, or the camera is fast enough for me to switch from shooting something 15 feet away to something that is, I'm going to say it's probably 450 feet away, almost 500 feet away. So, you know, it's a couple hundred yards away almost. And, locked on focus, and I got a series of shots. I did lose focus a little bit because he was hauling butt when he did this turn here. But just wanted to share this image just to show people that you can get a bird in flight, and that I literally jumped from 15 to 20 feet away to about 450 feet away and had the camera able to lock in focus. And at the same time, I'm going from shooting an aperture priority, reaching up, rolling the dial on my EM1 Mark II to C1, which I have set up for continuous autofocus tracking, sequential low, and I've got the center 9 focus points set up for the autofocus. So in one smooth motion, I was able to bring the camera up and handhold and get this shot of this osprey as it's taking off with this fish. And so that was Saturday morning. It was a pretty eventful morning. And then Saturday night, I went and did the event at the camera shop in Muskegon, where I led some people walking down the beach shooting. And this is just one of the shots that I shot there. There were catamarans lined up. I'm typically more of kind of like a naturey wildlife kind of person. So for me, trying to find something to work into a scene that's not a tree or a rock or a waterfall or a bird or something is a little foreign to me. I'm not so much of a architectural kind of person, but I just kind of had fun framing up the shot with the sun right below these, I don't know. I'm not a maritime guy, so I don't know what these cables are, but whatever. It's to each side of the pontoons on the catamaran there. I just kind of had fun lining up that shot. This was shot with the EM1 Mark II and the 7 to 14 millimeter, no filters. This was just pretty much right out of the camera with that setup. So that's kind of, yeah, it's kind of what I did. That's some of my photos. Settings for some of the bird photos for people curious. The hummingbird, like I said, F8 ISO 1600. The common yellow throat, I think that was actually like 5.6, and I think that was just me bumbling around. So it tends to be, it's like a little hot, a little bright, a little overexposed, I think. And then the what do you call it? The osprey in flight. When I go to C1 on my camera, that throws me into some pre-set up settings that I have for tracking birds in flight, because I'm always trying to get actually these kind of shots. So that's shutter priority with a shutter speed of 1,000th of a second, and auto ISO, and I'm at my lowest aperture, obviously, so that I can maintain those values of, you know, 1,000th of a. And so I think that the finished product on this ended up being at I think it was f5.6, and I think like ISO. That's probably, I think it's ISO 1600 or 2000 to get that shot, to keep it at that shutter speed. It's kind of early in the morning, believe it or not. Then that last shot, like I said, was pretty much just straight out of camera.
Yeah, yeah. How cool! That last one, man. That with the catamaran.
Really?
Oh, I love that shot.
Wow. Okay.
That one just knocks me out, and maybe because I just see it differently. I mean, I love the bird shots. You say you're jealous. I'm jealous about all about all these crazy birds. I cannot figure half of that out, and I know how hard they are to capture after my little experience last year with birds. But man, that last shot is that just reminds. That's a pure Michigan shot to me. I really think it is. I like it.
I'll submit it. I'll doctor it up a little bit. I'll deepen those blues up a bit, but
right. It just feels like, that's Michigan, the beach and the catamaran and the whole thing, So
hey, I'm going to answer Ivan really quick here. So Ivan's asking, thank you on the congrats on the 100. Appreciate that. So he wants to know if we've ever used live HDMI to a Blackmagic web presenter. I'm not sure what you mean by a web presenter, but I used to have the Magic Studio the Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini recorder, little box with a HDMI in and all that. And then it was, I think, Thunderbolt out on the other side. I've used that. And I don't recall. Yes, I did get clean HDMI. You can get clean HDMI with the EM5 Mark II using that. I know I did. But I ended up honestly switching over to, oh my gosh, where's it at? I can't even find it. So it's the Elgato Cam Link.
Cam Link, yep.
So the Elgato Cam Link I find works better, Ivan. So maybe look at that, Ivan, is the Cam Link, unless you've already got the Blackmagic. In which case, continue to try to use it. I know that people who are trying to use that with stuff like Google Hangouts run into issues. I couldn't use it with Google Hangouts. I think I got it to work once.
Right.
For some reason, I couldn't get frame rates to work out and all that, and it was just a pain in the butt. So the Elgato Cam Link is what it's called, is what you want to go with. So
yeah, it's cool.
It's easier for me to say that than type it all.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm gonna do a shout out to one person. I don't even know if they're watching. We'll see. But a brand new person, I don't know if you've ever had this at work, comes up, finds out what you do like on the outside of work, and they just picked up photography and have become like obsessed. He starts going into the exposure triangle, and they bought a mirrorless camera. Hey, and we're agnostic on the show.
Totally.
It wasn't an Olympus, but I'm cool with it. It's a mirrorless camera, man. And so you shout out to Matt. And keep shooting away, man. It only gets better. So I can guarantee he'll be on some of our workshops and stuff, which is really cool. And awesome. you know him for years, and you go, "Oh my God, I didn't know you did all this stuff."
That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah. Definitely love that.
That's cool.
So Joel Edelman said he got his Elgato and used it tonight. He said it worked perfectly.
Okay.
Definitely stoked to hear that that you got a system that works nice and easy for you, Joe. It is. It's literally plug it in and you're rocking and rolling. So I love that.
You got to watch Joe's show too, man.
Yeah, everybody needs to watch Joe's show. Yeah. He's like what we'll grow up and be.
Yeah,
one day,
that's what and I'm not even sure if we can get that mature.
I'm in my wife's craft room.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, Joe's like production stuff. So it's cool. So. Super cool. So I guess that's probably about it. You guys, we're going to wrap it up. We ran a little long. We're excited again to celebrate 100th episode with you guys. And like we said, we got those cool giveaways. Give me a little bit of time to get all the links and everything in the show notes here. It's going to take a minute because we're giving away some cool stuff and we want to make sure we're doing this right for you guys and getting you all set up. And for those people that jumped on tonight and signed up to Patreon and the Mirrorless Adventures Meetup group, thank you. You guys rock.
You are the best. You are the best.
So we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks and get out there and use that hashtag 100 mirrorless minutes only on Twitter and Instagram. It's just going to be easier for us to track if it's only in 2 places rather than everywhere else. So again, thank you guys so much and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you, everybody.
Take care.